Agriculture is essential because it's providing the food that goes onto our plates, but it's also very, very damaging for the planet. I argue that it has the highest environmental footprint of any sector of human activity. To put food on our plates, we need to use 3/4 of the land for agriculture. Most of the water that humans use goes for agricultural production, 3/4 of the water we use. Universities now need to do more than just research. We now need to deliver on those discoveries. Let's make an impact. Let's make change on our planet. That's what the Centre of Excellence for Sustainable Food Security is able to do. It's move from the laboratory through the greenhouses and the fields out to commercial reality.
Plants to Food is a platform that funds research projects where companies and universities work together on solving some of the problems in the plant-based foods production system. The money in the platform goes to cover the costs of the research happening at the universities. We're working with open research here where it's pretty competitive, so the results can be shared with everybody. There are no patents and no other barriers to using the results. In this program, we foster collaboration between academia and industry by inviting companies to share their challenges and have researchers listen to this and come with suggestions on how things can be improved. So you can say it's a playground for industry and academia to get together, get to understand each other, and make great research projects to actually make a practical, positive change.
The environment is often a forgotten victim of war. The Global Food and Water Security Project was created because there is a lack of research on armed conflict and the environmental impacts, and how we ensure that that environment that might have been heavily contaminated from bullets and oils from tanks and barracks, how we actually remediate that contamination and remove it so that it doesn't end up in the human food chain.
I find it obligatory to try to help develop ways and strategies to deal with the ramifications of conflict and war, and also to turn food and water, which can be an instrument of war, to make this an instrument of peace, of stability, and of hope.
Global food production faces escalating crises. Addressing these pressing issues requires innovative solutions and committed leadership.
Raising the banners of hunger relief and environmental action brings collaborators together and sparks new innovation. Together with everyone at TOEIC and all our partners, we are committed to creating a lasting, ultra-circular food production system.
Our technology, Solatan, which is a biochar infused with the beneficial microorganism, is not about the product, but actually it's an ecosystem itself. It can restore the soil health, can reduce the carbon footprint in the farmland, and also by utilizing the local material, it stabilizes the local material supply to the farmland. And it's really not about the short-term gains, but it's actually safeguarding the future of the planet and our agriculture food system.
We welcome global partners who share this vision and want to journey with us towards that ultra-circular society.
Agriculture today needs to be even more sustainable than it has been. One of the major challenges is to feed the growing population in a sustainable fashion. We need changes, we need innovations, and we believe that with science we can.
The vision for the Crop Science Centre is to make use of discovery science focused on developing sustainable solutions for agriculture and provide a visible vehicle for that discovery science to get out into the field and to impact farmers around the world.
You need to engage the end users So science has to start with farmers and end with the farmer.
Ultimately, we want to create a world where farming is profitable, dignified, and resilient, and where science truly serves the people who feed us all.
The world is facing a perfect storm in terms of global agriculture and food systems. 800 million people are hungry, and 350 million are on the brink of starvation. In the global south, multiple agricultural challenges are converging. It severely impacted the ability of billions of people to sustain themselves with food and jobs. Rapid population growth, increased heat, erratic rainfall, pests and diseases, and catastrophic fires and weather shocks. Loss of youth interest in farming and lack of jobs are driving migration. Water scarcity, land and soil degradation, loss of biodiversity, increased conflict that disrupts or halt production. These challenges affect the most vulnerable, who are the least able to deal with it.
Farmers, families, and global food systems are at risk if these issues are not tackled quickly. If we fail to act, fragile food systems in middle and low-income countries will crumble. Failure to act is like letting the roots of a tree wither. The whole canopy of food, livelihoods, and stability will fall. But if we nurture these roots now, the trees will grow strong enough to shelter our future generations.
CGIAR is the world's largest publicly funded agricultural research networks. We have 13 special research centers that are addressing the agricultural challenges in over 100 countries. For 50 years, our science and innovation has lifted hundreds of millions of people out of poverty through improved crop, resilient livestock, sustainable aquaculture, and soil and water management. There are about 500 million small-scale producers in the global south, and they produce over 1/3 of the world food. Yet, they are facing the greatest production challenges.
Pinakamalaking problema doon yung hindi namin mapapalaki ng ayos yung palay, makaparami ng ani. Bakit? Kasi pag sobra pala yung tubig sa ating halamang palay, hindi siya makakaanak ng gusto.
Rural farmers in the global south are essential partners to collaborate on solution and scale up of those agricultural innovations.
21 to 25 days.
I consider it the liver lab for the rest of the world. CGIAR develops resilient crops that still produce in the face of heat, droughts, and increased pest and crop diseases, helping farms sustain livelihoods in very tough conditions. CGIAR resilient crops are also biofortified with vitamins and minerals to tackle hunger and malnutrition, particularly in rural areas across the world.
Ready! Lagay! Mix! Sample! 25.
Our mandate is the whole gamut of rice research, such as breeding and genetics and molecular biology, so that we bring value to our stakeholders. The primary stakeholders are our farmers and consumers.
So yung nung introduce nga sa akin yan ng taga-NIA, which is ito pa programa ng IRI, na sila yung nagbigay ng unang initiation para gumamit ako ng AWD or yung alternate waiting and drying natin, na kung saan meron tayo ditong observation well, na kung saan dito tayo makamonitor ng tubig kung need na ba natin mag-refill, magdagdag ng tubig sa ating palayan o hindi na. All of these facilities have controlled environment systems that are capable of controlling environmental parameters such as light, light intensity, photoperiod, light spectrum, temperature, relative humidity, and carbon dioxide, which are all essential for plant growth. So these kinds of technologies embedded with other technologies of genomics and genomic selection help them to enhance the genetic game. So for using the speed breeding facility, we cut the breeding process by half. So that means we make available the products or the rice varieties faster to the smallholder farmers and the consumers faster. The plant growth facilities are equipped with automated data loggers. So they log data every 18 seconds. So that's a humongous amount of data which scientists use with AI tools to analyze plant responses to different simulated conditions. So they use that and it helps them to decide which desired genotypes are going to advance for the next breeding stage.
Here we conserve over 132,000 rice varieties which have originated from more than 130 countries. So it's a highly valuable resource. I can say this is like a mother source of the river where everything starts. So it has constantly delivered and it is continuing to deliver. Even today, new challenges are when they are appearing. It could be new disease, it could be a new nutrition issue. Researchers go to the gene bank and to find the source which they can use in their own research and develop suitable products accordingly. Today, the youth are less interested in agriculture, but at the same time, technology is changing. Robotics, automation, AI is now coming into pictures. We have to be up to date. We have to capitalize on leverage and technologies that is available and make farming attractive to the youth.
I would like to contribute on how can we attain rice self-sufficiency.
Nabibigay ko na po yung needs ng dalawa kong anak. Lalo ngayon sabay sila nag-college. So, kumbaga, oo, kinakapos pero hindi na ganon kahirap kasi nga, kumbaga, yung ani nun at yung nakakasustain doon sa pangangailangan namin sa bahay. At isa pa, hindi na ko yung nangungutang dito, utang doon na pagka-land preparation.
As CGIAR, we are the custodians of the plant genetic resources worldwide, and that's really one of our main missions, is to make sure we conserve this agrobiodiversity in the plant species for future generations to come. We have also gene banks of fish, of different species, of fungi, of viruses, of animal.
We have had the challenge of less fodder and which was of low quality. Our animals will go very weak, emaciated during the drought period.
It is urgent that we address the challenges in livestock, food security, and climate resilience now because the pressures are all converging at once. The farmers within the environments we work in face climate shocks, diseases, and rising costs. All of these add pressure and affect animal productivity today. ILRI science directly supports the world's poorest and most vulnerable farming communities in Africa by implementing research that seeks practical innovations and solutions that directly strengthen low-input livestock production systems. All these efforts in combination help the farming communities to raise the productivity, safeguard their livestock resources, and build more secure livelihoods from their livestock.
Poor quality feeds is one of the biggest contributors to productivity gaps. It reduces overall production in terms of milk and meat, and at the same time, it increases emission, which contributes to the negative impact of livestock on the environment. We identify new forages that improve yield and reduce methane emission by screening them for different quality traits and suitability to different environment and production system used by our farmers.
After adopting the improved forages, we have had sufficient fodder, which is of high quality, nutrient dense, and that can last us for 2 to 3 years. The health of our livestock has improved because we have enough feed to feed them. Then the yields of the milk have increased from as low as 7 or 6 liters to almost 12 liters every day. Our income from the milk has also increased.
The International Livestock Research Institute and its partners have co-developed different feed innovations that, if scaled across Africa, would increase productivity and improve food security.
We generate data, evidence, and tools to help African governments build greenhouse gas inventories for their livestock and set mitigation goals. One example of climate-smart livestock solutions is biogas systems, which produce clean energy and cut emissions while at the same time saving time and money for the farmers and their families.
Unless we invest in interventions across feed, health, management, and environmental dimensions, livestock productivity will continue to spiral downwards. Locally adapted, improved genetics in our livestock will transform them for productivity. The locally adapted, improved genetics gives the farmers animals that are naturally better suited to their environment. These animals are also better able to withstand the heat, diseases, and the feed shortages while still producing more.
Aquatic foods are low emission. They are high nutrition food that provides essential nutrient to over 3.3 billion people. The sector also provides livelihood for more than 600 million people living in some of the most climate vulnerable areas of the world, including big ocean states. Yet globally, fisheries are under threat from climate change, overfishing, and pollution. CGIAR works with government and communities to sustainably manage fisheries, to restore and protect fish stock, while developing innovative aquaculture solutions to nourish growing population and diversify local economies.
In India, fish is an important part of the local diet, and about 72% of the population consumes fish and fish-based products. Yet, despite this, the country still faces serious challenges of undernutrition in many of these fish-consuming regions. More than 60% of women and children are anemic. By producing nutrient-rich fish, for example small fish, along with big fish such as carp, it can combat the hidden hunger and strengthen food and nutrition security. In India, World Fish and its partners developed a breakthrough by standardizing hatchery-based techniques for induced breeding and mass seed production of mola, such as hormone administration and environmental manipulation to enhance the mola seed production while making the protocol climate smart and energy efficient. Mola is packed with vital micronutrients along with essential amino acids and fatty acids.
ଆମ ପିଲାଙ୍କର ବୁଦ୍ଧିର ବିକାଶ ହେଉଛି, ଦୃଷ୍ଟି ଶକ୍ତି ବି ବଢ଼ୁଛି, ତାପରେ ଆମର ମସ୍ତିଷ୍କ ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ବି ହେଉଛି, ତାପରେ ଆମର ବୟସ୍କ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ହାଡ଼ ମଜବୁତ ରହୁଛି, ତାପରେ ଏଥିରେ କ'ଣ ବହୁତ ପୋଷକ ତତ୍ତ୍ୱ ଏଥିରେ ରହିଛି, ଯାହାକି ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ଗୋଟେ ଖଣିଜ ଲବଣ ଏଥିରେ ଅଧିକା ରହୁଛି, ମହୁରାଳି ମାଛ ବିକିବା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆମର ଏସଏଚରେ ଯେଉଁ ପୋଖରୀ 2 ଏକର ପୋଖରୀ ନେଇଛୁ ସେଥିରେ ମହୁରାଳି ଚାଷ କରୁଛୁ। ସେ କରିବା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଖାଲି ମୋର ନୁହଁ ଆମର 10 ଜଣ ସଭ୍ୟମାନେ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ରହିଲେ ସମସ୍ତେ ବି ସେଥିରେ ଉପକୃତ ହେଉଛନ୍ତି, ଯାହାକି ତାଙ୍କର ପରିବାର ବି ସେମାନେ ପରିପୋଷଣ ବି କରିପାରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଆମେ ମହୁରାଳି ମାଛ ଛାଡ଼ି ଆମର ଧରିବା କ'ଣ ନା ରୋହି ଭାକୁର ଛାଡ଼ିଲେ 6 ମାସ ବର୍ଷକରେ ଆମେ ଧରି ପାରୁଛେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ମହୁରାଳି ଗୋଟେ ମାଛ ଏମିତି ଆମେ ପ୍ରତି 3 ମାସରେ ଥରେ ଆମେ ହାର୍ଭେଷ୍ଟ ତାକୁ କରିପାରିବା।
Dry land are very critical for the future of food and climate resilience. Right now we have 45% of the world land surface are dry lands, and they are home to over 2 billion people. Dry lands support around 45% of the world's agricultural system, and dry lands are critical testing ground for solutions to today's agricultural challenges, such as heat, water scarcity, but also salinity. With so much at stake, building dry lands resilience is vital for global stability.
تعرف الرقم بقى؟
لا هو هيطلعه هنا بس.
ارفع.
كم بسرعة بسرعة بسرعة؟
211.
We are conducting research for development focusing on developing climate-smart crops, improving land and water management, and also improving the livelihood.
النظام ده مطبق كانت مالحة، كانت سمك بتعفر، والزهاير كنا ما بنروحش نبص عليها أصلا، يعني الملوحة اللي فيها والعفرة اللي فيها والسبخ اللي فيها، وكنا زهقنا منها أصلا يعني.
ICARDA is making sure that every drop of water is utilized efficiently in dry lands, specifically in Egypt. For example, here in Kafr Sheikh, traditional soil salinity leaching doesn't efficiently remove the soil salinity, and that's why ICARDA has developed its own new technique, a very low-cost technique, where we are changing the microtopography of the land and installing parallel ditches and drains in order to make sure that the water is distributed uniformly across the land, and where we are making sure that the excessive drainage water and this salty water is removed out of the land. And also we have integrated this system with aquaculture system where we can also introduce to farmers a new income.
ما كانش فيه انتاج منها، انت كنت بتحط فيها بترمي في البحر. دلوقتي بقى فيه، يعني دلوقتي حطوا لنا فيها سمك كبر، بقى فيه حجم في السمك، بيجي علف للسمك، بيجي سمن للسمك، بيجيب لك جاز تلون. الاول ما كنتش قادر تصرف على الكلام ده. انت عشان الاول تحط مكنه تنشيل الميه بتاع الصرف، ما انتش قادر تحط الصرف، يعني الجاز غالي. عشان تنشيل الصرف ترجعي تاني ما تقدريش، هترجعي صرف ولا تحط ميه حلوه تروي. دلوقتي هم بيقولوا الجاز بتروي ميه حلوه، وبتاخد الميه بتاع الصرف بتاع الزراعه بتاع الميه المالحه تحط لي السمك تاني. بقى فيه انتاج، بقى فيه خضار، الارض بقت خضراء.
Farmers here in these areas are watching and are monitoring their neighboring farmers, and also this experiment and this knowledge has been transferred to many areas here in Kafr Sheikh. The number of farmers applying such innovation has been increasing over time.
Soil degradation affects over a third of the world land. Water scarcity threatens billions of people and farmers. CGIAR develops practices and technologies that restore soil health, improve water use efficiency, and help farmers grow more food with fewer resources and inputs.
اقول للناس ما تخافش، ما عادش في جهل زي الاول، الناس كلها اتفتحت دلوقتي، في دكاتره في الزراعه، في متخصص في الزراعه، في خير كتير. دلوقتي ما عادش حد يخاف من حاجه.
Science alone does not transform lives. When evidence and data inform government and market decisions, affordable innovation can reach farmers and deliver impact at scale. Decision makers require improved data and analytics to help them identify technologies, policies, and investment. Working with National Research Institute, CGIAR modeling team use innovative analytical tools to anticipate trends, technologies, and practices to inform policymakers and investment decisions.
So the global food system today is becoming ever more complex, and they're facing a lot more risks and challenges that need to be navigated. We can use our models and our foresight tools to try and come to terms with this growing complexity. They can help us think through, structure our thinking. They can help us anticipate shocks and provide a laboratory for experimenting with different policies and other solutions.
The challenge really comes down to putting the right investments in place, putting the right rules of the game in place, so that lots of people can crowd into that process, whether it's farmers and farmers organizations, or entrepreneurs, or university students and faculty with good ideas. The idea really is just to create that enabling environment.
Understanding these dynamics, of course, and how policies and programming can respond inclusively and effectively is really at the heart of our discussion.
Building resilience for the most vulnerable means that we ensure access to productive livelihoods. It means that women are not only consulted, but also driving reforms and policy changes. It means that individuals have food security, and they can do that through their own actions or through support programs that can help ensure that they have access to sufficient and nutritious diets. We need to make sure that we understand the effects of climate change and we build climate resilient solutions that can support individuals facing their greatest negative impacts.
Policymakers often face really hard decisions, have really difficult questions to answer. This is where the CGIAR policy teams at the country level in Kenya and also in other countries come in to work closely with our partners to provide solutions to some of these really tough questions.
HIFPRI and CGIAR have supported immensely in coming up with long-term models to support the public policy-making processes to influence the livelihood of Kenyans.
We need more efficient spending across the board, and the food system is a prime job creator. Now, in all of this, policies, institutions, and market will have to play a critical role to make that food system transformation happen.
Global food system transformation requires 500 billion annually and lock in trillions in economic benefits. Agriculture accounts for 1/3 of the global food production, but receives just 1.7% of climate finance, leaving small-scale farmers vulnerable. Sustained investment in research is essential to develop solutions that keep pace with rapidly evolving challenges like climate change, like pest outbreaks and resource depletion. Without long-term funding, breakthroughs remain out of reach. CGIAR research delivers a return on investment of about $10 for every dollar spent, making agriculture research and development one of the most cost-effective solutions to global challenges. With science, we can tackle the urgent and growing food security crisis. The global community must support critical research and innovation now. Inaction is not an option. Join us in investing in CGIAR scientists and CGIAR partners.